Now we're all caught up. What was the one that, oh yeah, I wanted to catch up on the ROOBET thing. Because I know Coffeezilla and Mudahar posted the new parts. Alright, so we're on part 3.
Hey, Harry. Don't freak out. But I know we've been working on part 3 for several days now.
But you're
we have to throw
fired.
it in the trash.
Oh.
Are you serious?
Even worse.
Yeah, we got to start over. I just got off the phone with the NELK boys. There's so much to this story. It's convoluted, competing interests. It's just... we got to scrap it and start over. This is the video
Editor just quits on the spot.
About NELK, Private Bet, and Wizza. But we've learned new evidence which has changed our perspective on this, not necessarily making anyone look better, more like complicating the story and making it more interesting. So this is us starting over and trying to make sense of a bunch of competing voices.
Me, Steve Dude LLC, and the NELK Boys Enterprises, bro, like no one else, bro. We're not gonna take millions of dollars to our fans ever, bro. We won't take any sponsorship money, nothing, bro. Like,
hey guys,
let's go!
Video night here.
Thank you,
Just
Steve.
Scrap
Don't
the
fuck
third
me.
video and restart. I mean, look, it's gonna happen when you're doing something like this. Sometimes the truth isn't what you expect. Then other times the truth is confusing or conflicting. Because some of y'all, I hate to say it, have lied to me. And let me say, stop.
Get some help.
No, but the point is that everyone in this story, honestly, it seems like they're trying to make themselves look as good as possible. And it's hard to know who's telling the truth. Like, it's almost like my job is a real-life game of Among Us. Who is the imposter telling me lies? But we'll get to that, and we will catch those people. For now, I just want to catch you up to speed. And last thing, if you enjoy these videos, please pump the stock, Zilla, by subscribing. It's free. Might pay monthly dividends. Who knows? You know, one could say it's a gamble. Either way, let's go to the board and catch you up to speed. All right, ladies and gentlemen, in the last video, we explained how these deals work with ROOBET. These influencers get paid millions of dollars to stream themselves gambling, but they're not actually playing with real money. They're gambling with fake money coming from a sponsor.
Well, it's real money from a sponsor, but it's not their money, right?
Let's call Howie.
That was
It's not make-believe. They give the money to them.
Really call Howie off screen. Because that was
Well, let's see what Howie's going to do. They just lost 15 racks. If you look at their Bitcoin wallet here, they're sitting at a toasty $0, okay? God damn. Don't worry, guys. Howie comes in clutch. Look at that Bitcoin wallet up top. They're back to playing Crash. Same exact stream that we were watching. God damn.
Yeah, but if they don't disclose it... But no, Jesus Christ, no.
Because
I'm just saying,
want to gamble a dime.
they're not having make-believe money. They're getting real money.
Deposit wallets of these
which is
guys.
even worse.
They haven't ever put anything in.
Dude,
like, it's not their money.
Didn't put a
You're misunderstanding
dime of
me.
his money
I'm not defending
into that Bitcoin wallet address. How much money does Aiden Ross have in the account? $300,000. Ladies and gentlemen, where did he put the money in?
And of course, not only are they no-stakes gambling while pretending to high-stakes gamble, remember, because they're making millions of dollars on these deals, these influencers' lives are basically controlled by ROOBET. Howie says jump, these influencers say how high. Literally.
Howie, are you in the chat right now? Is this true?
Bro, why do you want me to do that, Howie? You're weird as bro.
What the did he ask for this time?
What's it hot, bro?
If Howie says fly to Mexico,
Howie,
you better fly to Mexico.
We're gonna be happy. We're going to Mexico.
Now that we're at this lavish, luxurious villa, this other country, I can tell you why we got it, why we got the jet, why we did all this stuff.
Why?
We have officially partnered with ROOBET.
Let's go!
It's bizarre to watch all these cool influencers dancing like puppets.
Howie!
Like a weird version of Squid Game. Do a strange task for lots of money.
apparently Howie has a challenge.
Easy tier 1, Red.
No, he's gonna make you do a kangaroo sound. I bet you. I'm out of this one.
A kangaroo
I'm stepping out.
That does sound like a good kangaroo.
Like a kangaroo to me.
Fuck
All I
yeah,
gotta say,
good.
the money must be very good for these guys to be doing that. But, of course, we know all that glitters is not gold. Sometimes these deals fall apart. And it turns out this was the case with the NELK boys and ROOBET and Wizza. See, many people noticed when the NELK boys suddenly went from streaming every day on ROOBET and being influencers on Wizza their giveaway sister company, to suddenly being wiped off the website with no warning. None of the NELK guys, except for Steve Will Do It, remain.
Oh,
Remember,
no.
our boy Alan is supposedly the #1 fan of Full Send.
These are the #1 fans of Full Send / Happy Dad.
Well, it all started falling apart with the giveaway of a Ferrari sponsored by Wizza that seemed too good to be true.
I think it just seems like a scam because it's too epic. Yeah.
There's no such thing as
Good to be
too
true, but
epic.
it is true.
It's like saying something can be too lit
Words, huh?
or too
I don't know how to say
wet.
this delicately, but this thing was a disaster.
Thanks for resub,
Part
Don
4
Julio.
We'll explain a little bit more, but this thing looked completely rigged. And all of this caused an entire subreddit to be born called r/fullscam. And this subreddit became devoted to cataloging NELK's missteps in the meticulous and obsessive way that only Reddit really can. Now, this is where the story diverges actually a little bit between what NELK says happened and what Reddit says happened. The full scam page, for the most part, thinks that NELK and Wizza were in on the Ferrari giveaway disaster. NELK denies this, though. They said they had no control and were working on it as part of a standard promotion, saying that afterwards, they immediately cut ties with Wizza because they suspected something was up. I, of course, asked for proof. They sent me this. This is from the Full Send team on June 30th.
Hey, Full Send guys.
Apparently, they were mad because Wizza had charged their international fans for raffle tickets for this Ferrari, even though there was no chance of
Thanks for
anyone
your
outside of the
swiggity.
US winning. They said, quote, NELK has received numerous complaints that its fans paid to enter for a drawing on Wizza even though they were actually ineligible, which resulted in them feeling scammed. NELK's lawyers have advised that this was likely non-compliant with applicable law, and accordingly, NELK would prefer that everyone be promptly reimbursed. And then a little bit later, the
Thanks for your
breakup
sub, Brad.
text. So NELK will not be able to proceed negotiating the Wizza or ROOBET agreements further given the relationship between Wizza and ROOBET and the recent developments. Wow. According to NELK, they cut ties early with Wizza and ROOBET, and honestly, that was probably a smart move. Although it looks like not everyone was on the same page, because obviously Steve Will Do It didn't leave Wizza and ROOBET. And we also know Lucas here.
Steve Will
also
Do It
continued
can't read.
streaming on Twitch with ROOBET.
How many times do I need to
It
say
seems
that?
like
He
there are
quite
definitely
literally
some
can't
outside
fucking
deals
read. He doesn't know what's going on.
which will become interesting a little bit later. Now, the other interesting thing we learn here is that when NELK backed out of Wizza, they were also out of ROOBET. NELK told me this is because ROOBET and Wizza were package deals for them, which, if you ask me, is weird. Why is a giveaway company and a offshore gambling site tying their promotions together? I mean, yes,
Because
they're
it's
owned by the same
fucking
people,
epic.
but it doesn't exactly mix. That'd be like a weapons dealer buying their firearms to also having to volunteer at the homeless shelter, or a smoking company making you adopt a kitten for every pack you pick up. I mean, it's a little weird, right? If what NELK is saying is true. Now, I did talk to another few influencers who said their deals worked a little bit different and were separate. But either way, it raises a few eyebrows.
So
about
who won the
where
Ferrari?
money might be coming from for all these extravagant giveaways. I mean, listen, this might be the time for the tinfoil hat here, but go with me. What better way to get money for a McLaren that you're going to raffle off to your fans than from a lucrative, thriving, and maybe even offshore business?
Imagine caring about this shit.
Accusing anyone here. I just want to say that
What?
if it were me, that would make sense, right? But it's important to say Wizza denies the possibility of this completely.
I don't understand that perspective. I didn't get scammed, so why would I care? It's still interesting. Like, what the fuck do you mean? I don't get that. I wasn't personally involved, therefore it's completely irrelevant and no one should give a fuck about it. I don't care if they scammed millions of dollars worth of shit. Who cares? I wasn't in it. I don't want to hear about it. This is lame. Fucking cringe. Embarrassing. I'm gonna go gamble on ROOBET.
Completely. They said, quote, Wizza and ROOBET do not package their expenses. The two companies are separate entities and pay their own expenses. No one is concealing the overlap on the marketing team.
Can
and the
Steve really not
relationships
read?
they
Yeah, I'm pretty
bring to
sure
the
he is
table. So there
clinically
you go.
illiterate.
Take it for what it is.
He's
I
diagnosed
just thought it
with
was
terminal
weird
illiteracy.
that for NELK, the deals were tied together. And speaking of NELK, people were still upset about the Ferrari regardless of what was happening. And people quickly found out, looking behind the scenes, that it wasn't the first time they tried to give away a car.
Yes.
What's the deal? Is that yours? How do you get this Lambo?
We teamed up with this company called Moose, and they just approached us. They're like, yo, we got a full send Lambo. We want to team up with you guys.
What's the
What are
company
these
that-
companies,
Like, how do you
It's
just
called-
get a Lambo? I'm confused.
They just hit us up. Moose is this company called
It's like
Moose.
a charity company. They
Yeah.
bought the Lambo, and then we push it through our fans, and then they buy entries, and then
So it's like $1
Someone
entries. You can
wins.
buy as many as you want.
Yeah, basically the exact same thing.
Real quick, there's something I want to look up, because I remember Twitch streamers got in trouble for this. Isn't it illegal to have to pay to enter a raffle? Isn't that an actual crime? Don't you have to have a free alternative for entries in a raffle? It is illegal to require you to buy something or pay to enter to increase your odds of winning in a raffle. That is from the oag.ca.gov. Part of the sweepstakes law. So it's just literally illegal. What? I thought so. Because I remember I think it was Cash App was doing like giving money away to subscribers of streamers, and it's like, well, that's a problem because in order to subscribe to a streamer, you're paying, and you can't pay to enter a raffle because it's illegal. So I thought so. I imagine that would extend here because this is a raffle for a Lambo, or Lambo, right? So how are they allowed to get rid of that? To increase your odds not to enter, I believe. It actually says here, it's illegal to require you to buy something or pay to increase your odds. So it's both. Yeah, they're in California, right? I'm not looking at the wrong laws. This is the state of California, the Department of Justice. And they are California based, right? So I have to imagine that it's a problem, right? I don't know. I'm not a fucking lawyer. I just remember hearing about this when it was prevalent on Twitch.
Fans paid money for tickets to a raffle, and
congrats on clogging the toilet,
knows
Michael. Good shit, man.
if the drawing was fair, or in this case, if it even happened. No one knows what happened to the full-sinned Lambo. It looks like the company Moose Gives was just a fly-by-night company that folded up and nobody got the car. Now, once again, I asked NELK about this, and they responded, quote, "We basically got effed over in almost the same sense as we did here with Wizza. This is a lesson to never partner with a company to give away anything ever again." They then talk a little bit about the agency they were working with at a time and ultimately say, the same as this Wizza shit, we really know as much as the fans if this giveaway was done legitimately or not. Shortly after, we fired WME for obvious reasons. And then they finally say, quote, "We've done barely any brand deals and it always comes with the same type of BS. Lesson learned for good this time." So that's their statement. Oh, and they also say that they were only paid $15K apparently for this deal as well. And if that's the case, I think they should have just come forward and addressed this stuff sooner. But speaking frankly, this kind of thing, this giveaway thing, is kind of like a fool me once, fool me twice situation. You know what they say about that, don't you? You better not fool me a third time. But of course, it gets worse. Yeah, because right after this disastrous promotion with Wizza and ROOBET, they literally start promoting another gambling casino.
Private Bet has a pretty sweet deal for you guys right now. They actually have an 100% deposit bonus guarantee up to $500.
Why does he look so scared?
Code Kyle. Make an account on privatebet.com and DM him your username, and we're going to give away $250 to 100 people. So all you guys on privatebet.com, $250 each. Privatebet.com. We'll be doing this we'll do this a lot.
Now, this is totally weird for a lot of reasons. First of all, and obviously, nobody's heard of this
I made it
website. Like when you look it up,
like when I was 12.
It looks a little
11 to
bit
12,
like brand new, and that's basically because its offshore
15
parent
years ago.
company, XYZ Entertainment, as it's called, was created May 25th, 2021. This thing's like a little baby. So why promote it? I mean, why is a company like NELK not going with an established casino instead of just like a brand new one?
Because they're gambling on the little guy,
baby. This
baby.
got people thinking. There's got to be more to this story. And this got even more damning when some social media accounts called @Blackjack were found being used for private bet. Here they are right here. These have been since privated. And the reason they were privated is because they were tied back by a YouTuber named Harrison to people from NELK.
Hey, Harrison.
NELK's president, the president of Full...
God damn. So how would anyone even find Harrison talking about this? Harrison must have done a great job of getting the word out. Good for him. 36 subs, and he says, fuck it, I'm taking them down.
2 people from NELK. Apparently, NELK's president, the president of Full Send, apparently owns those social media accounts. The obvious implication here being, of course, that Private Bet was owned or tied to NELK more than previously known, which would obviously make sense of the reason that they're promoting this brand new casino. This was further confirmed on the Blackjack Facebook page, which was previously known as Private Bet, and before that known as Blackjack Ventures, and before that known as Full Send Blackjack. Now, I would show you some
Just
of
the coincidence,
Harrison's
I think.
video uncovering all of this, but unfortunately, surprise, surprise, it was copyright striked by none other than NELK. Now, I contacted NELK about this because, of course, this seems extremely fishy, and they told me, hey, there's been a misunderstanding. They don't own Private Bet at all, but they know who does, but refuse to say.
Steve.
But apparently, they were working out a marketing deal with Private Bet and a social media deal. That's the reason their socials were connected, was because apparently NELK owned some gambling social media accounts at Blackjack, and they were going to let them use them in exchange for a lucrative deal. So Private Bet was going to use at Blackjack, which was owned by Full Send, and Full Send was also going to promote them as a casino. This was the story that I was told. But they insisted that they never owned any part of Private Bet. Now, of course, I asked to see this marketing deal that was done. And they told me they'd love to show it to me, but it doesn't exist. They never actually finished the deal, which I found a little bit hard to believe. NELK's story is essentially they promoted a gambling company offshore without owning it and without a deal talking terms. And this is right after getting burned by another company that they didn't own. Does anybody else think this is kind of a weird story? I mean,
no, I honestly think they're dumb enough to do that. Like, legitimately,
pulling out of the
super
deal,
stupid, and would do that by accident.
They're not going to do this any longer. But I know a lot of influencers, and almost none of them would promote a brand or product without any kind of deal first in writing, especially not a brand as big as NELK. You're going to promote something without even a deal sketched out on a napkin? I don't know. I just don't buy it. And I told the guys at NELK that I thought that there was something I wasn't being told. Because what doesn't make sense here is that NELK keeps saying they've learned their lesson and need to stop promoting stuff they don't control, right? Like that was the lesson with Wizza. They didn't control it and they got burned. That was the lesson with Moose Gives. They didn't control it, they got burned. And then their story with Private Bet is that they don't control it. Now, when I told NELK that basically I wasn't buying it, they said, look, we just didn't want to jeopardize a more lucrative casino deal in the future with an actual U.S. casino that's regulated. But that's the story. You can make up your mind for what you want to believe. I just want to present all the facts we have here. I just, personally, the story doesn't make sense to me. But around this time, I was finding NELK a little hard to believe. Something even more unbelievable happened. A supposed NELK whistleblower suddenly appeared on Reddit on Full Scam, promising to expose them. The post is entitled, My Experience Formerly Working for Steve Will Do It and NELK, posted by this guy, Zesty Close. The two giant claims I want to draw your attention to is, one, that Private Bet is owned by Kyle and the Shahidi brothers. And two,
no, I don't
believe that. The giveaway with the Ferrari was rigged for a stunt. I mean, wow, this could be big. And of course, I instantly reached out to this person.
And it turns out it was
I said, are you willing to talk? And quote, what proof do you have that the Ferrari is rigged? He said, hello, I would love to help, but I just received an email from the Full Send team with a breach of contract. Luckily, they have not determined who has written the Reddit forum, as I worked in the Full Send and Steve's accounting, and another worker had left the day before me. And at this point, it looked like maybe this guy's the real deal.
How? That just seems really fishy.
He's under NDA. So the question is, how do we get him to talk? And as you guys know,
that's not really how NDAs would work. He says he worked in their accounting department. They're not going to NDA their accountants. I find that pretty hard to believe. This seems very fishy. This seems like fanfic. Like, I've had my fair share of NDAs, and it's not that common. Like, it's not something that they just do for a random employee at their big company. You underestimate how hard companies NDA people. Just look at Blizzard. They literally NDA everyone. I guess that is true. I guess maybe working at a company is a little different. So, I mean, it's possible, but I don't think they would just, like, I find it hard to believe that an accountant that they apparently don't know at all, they can't track this guy down from his post. I find it hard to believe that this faceless guy at their company was NDA'd.
Before me. And at this point, it looked like maybe this guy's the real deal. But he can't talk because he's under NDA. So the question is, how do we get him to talk? And as you guys know, meanwhile, I'm in contact with NELK. So I start to hatch an idea of maybe how we can do this. So what my plan was, I went to NELK and I said, hey, obviously there's this guy on Reddit, you guys probably have seen it, who says he used to work for you, he's exposing you guys. Is he telling the truth? They say no. I say, prove it. And of course they said, how? So I tell him, look, if he's not a real employee, release him from his NDA. If he's just a fake employee,
I work in private equity, we NDA everyone for everything. This is a YouTuber.
He is who he
it's
says
a YouTube,
right? And at this point, I got to tell
frat
you,
douchebag party house.
I'm basically asking them to waive their rights to an NDA.
It's a little different.
We discussed, and they said, all right, done. Any NDA on this whistleblower,
but again, maybe
NELK, is null and void.
I just
perfect.
Seems very weird.
I go back to our boy, Zesty Close, and I say, hey, I just got off the phone with the NELK boys. They say you're actually completely in the clear to talk with me. So no breach of contract to tell me everything you know. If you are who you say you are, you have no fear of backlash. John and Kyle have cleared you to tell me what you know. And this is when our guy, our supposed whistleblower, Zesty Close, it's his turn to get quiet. He doesn't respond. And suddenly, his post, which was highly upvoted, is deleted. I asked, why? Hello, why'd you delete your post?
Yeah.
He responded, hey, sorry, these last days have been really busy for me. Sorry if I take a while to respond. And I didn't. It got deleted by someone else. Don't know who, though. Yeah, I'm starting to get a little suspicious here. So I followed up for several days, and the guy just ghosted, right? This supposed whistleblower turned out to be completely fake. And I gotta say,
what are the
partially
odds?
In defense of the NELK boys here, like, look, get mad at them for the Wizzo stuff, Moose Gives, or the private bet story of theirs. But don't make up stuff pretending to be an ex-employee. Like, if you're that desperate to expose someone that you fabricate working with them, aren't you worse than the people you're exposing? I don't know. I just wanted to say that. But despite this being cleared up, I'm still not done with NELK here. Because believe it or not, we still have one final piece of the puzzle, and it comes from Lucas, one of the NELK boys, also known as Gaspo Show on Twitch. And by the way, this guy, the second we mentioned we were doing a story on ROOBET, all his videos on YouTube and Twitch were deleted. Man. I wonder why. Same with Steve will do it, by the way. But anyways, remember we said earlier that Lucas and Steve continued to stream on ROOBET well after June 30th when supposedly NELK broke off the contract, and apparently it was because they had their own deal. Well, Lucas apparently was up to some sketchy stuff, according to a former moderator who provided extensive evidence and accused Lucas of rigging stream giveaways with ROOBET. That's right. If you don't know, one of ROOBET's big things is all the streamers apparently give away a portion of what they won at the end of their stream. It's the reason that ROOBET streamers are always talking about how much money they're giving away. As Lucas explains, all you have to do is create an account with ROOBET and you too can win.
Make sure you guys are using promo code Lucas up here. LUCAS.
Oh, wait, I'm signing up now, Lucas.
Make a new account, do what you gotta do. Helps you guys out for the giveaways a whole lot. So if you guys want free money, man, all you gotta do is that.
Free money. That's right. These guys, if you use their code, they're going to give you free money. But apparently, that's
what happened
false
with NELK? Are they done? It's a good question. I haven't looked at NELK in years. No, they're doing fine. Moaning in people's ears at the golf course. See, they're crushing it. Good pranks. Oh, they really fuck with the golfers. Oh, we checked this last time. I remember now. Wait, this is familiar. Oh yeah, when we watched part 1 and 2. God, they're just so fucking forgettable. Jesus Christ. Fake meth lab prank gone horribly wrong. Cop gets attacked. What is this, 2010? Oh my god.
Say net profits, not profits.
What?
50% of net profits will go towards...
You want to say it?
So 50% of the net profits from all the breast cancer-related merchandise will go towards helping American Cancer Society fund.
No, it won't. This is NELK. That went right to them. That was just another lie. That'll be in part 6. I like how we can click anywhere on one of their videos, it seems, and they will immediately just be lying about some shit with money.
Allegedly, Lucas was scamming people by not giving away money randomly to his viewers, but instead giving it away to himself and his moderators. Here's how it apparently worked. Moderators would create a series of shell ROOBET accounts, brand new accounts like this. Accounts like Ricks and Morty, Icy Drops, Merch Buyer. Several accounts just like these would be created all on the same day, would be fresh accounts, and then would happen to win the giveaways of Lucas, but they were really controlled by his moderators who were feeding him names. The way it worked was allegedly
what a good
one
deal
of the
for the
moderators,
mods.
Nate, would send Lucas names ahead of time, and Lucas would select the names that he knew his guys controlled. According to a statement from the whistleblower, quote, Nate had set a certain type of order in Lucas's streams. He became the main guy controlling things like Lucas's TikTok account and making sure staff were paid. Things stayed like this for 3 weeks.
God damn it, I keep pausing now because I'm reading shit in the chat. It's interesting questions. What's your opinion on the quality of NELK compared to other douche tubers? Yeah, I'm not... So, obviously, after all this shit, I'm clearly not a huge fan of NELK. But I remember when I was in college, there was something like NELK that was big called I'm Schmacked. And it was basically like pre-alpha NELK. It was just a bunch of dudes that would cruise the country hitting all college parties. And that shit was fucking great. Like, it was fucking awesome. And they never scammed anyone. They just brought a camera and they filmed some college titties and drinking and keg stands and shit, and Charlie standing at the beer pong table running ass. So, when I was younger, like, and partying, it was cool when they were there, even though I never really watched I'm Schmacked. They went to our university like twice that semester, and that was super fun. But yeah, I think as far as douchebags go, NELK is definitely up there, considering how often they scam.
Nate would message us asking us for our ROOBET names and making sure we would be paid. And at first, I didn't bat an eye or anything. And this guy went so far as to actually send me the blockchain wallet where these accounts were winning on July 30th, for example, when all these shell accounts were created. As you can see, here's some winnings on July 30th coming from the ROOBET hot wallet itself. And allegedly, Lucas not only paid his Twitch mods with this, he would also get a cut of these supposed giveaways he was doing. Now, of course, I confronted Lucas on this, wanting, of course, to give him the chance to comment. He refused, and instead I just heard that he no longer wants to stream gambling anymore.
No.
Not about figures.
You fucking ruined it, Coffee!
What does this mean? Right? I'm throwing a lot of facts at you guys. Let's put it together for a second,
I'll
please.
never win Lucas's
As we found
giveaway.
out, there's a lot going on, right? Contracts being broken, fake NDAs, fake whistleblowers, NELK story about private bet, which sounds fake to me, and of course, Lucas's fake giveaways. I think the common thread here is kind of clear. But more than that, I really think what we're seeing is a group who can't decide what their ethical line in the sand is. On the one hand, some of NELK says they're done with Wizza after they suspect them of scamming their international fans. Well, at the same time, other members of NELK
it's a lot,
are still their number one promoter.
Douchebag
You see
scamming,
one part
basically.
of NELK say they're done with ROOBET, while the other part of NELK is busy running a giveaway scam on ROOBET. You have one part of NELK saying they're done with sketchy brand partners they don't control, and then they go out and promote this. Supposedly, another brand they don't control because they never had a deal worked out. I think it's honestly sad because without all this sketchy stuff, I think NELK could probably ride this full sin brand into the sunset, making millions of dollars off merch and happy dad dollars. But instead, it seems like they can't keep their members from reaching their hands in the cookie jar. And if they keep doing that, the name full scam is eventually gonna stick. So what will NELK
I think it already
choose?
has.
I don't know. But I think what NELK does next will determine a lot.
Now, Coffee, is there a way where it's like you just make this like right?
Hey, so I did scam everyone, but can you just forget about it?